Hello, people of the world. Okay, maybe people of the world is a bit too ambitious. Hello, 3 people? 2 people? I can do 2 people. So, for the 2 of you out there, this is my first podcast, so there might be some mistakes on the way, some inconsistencies with the audio quality, some awkward pauses. So if you hear anything like that, just think to yourself, it's okay, it's his first time. Thank you, and be gentle. Okay, we have that out of the way, so let me introduce you to my podcast. We're gonna call it What Do We Have Here? Yeah, sounds about right. What do we have here? Cue intro music. Intro music. Hello? Anybody? Music? Well, Jesus, do I have to do everything myself? God damn it. Okay. Just give me a sec. intro music. What do we have? What do we have here? Oh shit, that was way too sad. Let's try a little bit something a little bit more cheerful. What do we have here? Needs a little work, but we'll get to it later. Okay, we've been dragging this intro for way too long. Let's get to the topic at hand. What are we gonna talk about today? Well, I thought a lot about this, and I thought, winter is coming, it's getting cold, so that's exactly what we're gonna talk about. The cold. And with us today, we're gonna have a special guest. She's gonna be talking... Oh shit, I have no guest. I'm all alone. I have nobody. It's just me in this dark world. It's... Anyway, you're stuck with just me, sorry. So let's start with a little premise here. If you live anywhere in any Balkan country, or at least a Slavic country, you've probably heard your grandma say this to you 100 times. Don't sit on the cold concrete. You will catch a cold and you will get sick. That's my grandma voice. Or if you're a girl, something like, don't swim in the cold water. You need to make babies, and the cold water will damage your eggs or whatnot. And then we have, and this one's my favorite, you're sitting in a room full of people and you crack open a window. And this creates a draft, or in other words, air flowing through the room. And then someone, dude, close the window, the draft is killing my neck and I will catch a cold and I will catch bronchopneumonia. And my uncle once was sitting in the draft and then he had to go to the hospital for 5 days and almost died. Close the fucking window, eh? Yep, people say those things. So let's just start off by saying all of that is a bunch of bullshit. Contrary to popular belief, you cannot catch a cold from the cold, even though they share the same name. Let's define what a cold is, or as we call it officially, the common cold. The common cold is a disease caused by a viral infection that infects your upper respiratory tracts. This includes your throat, your sinuses, your nose, your ears, your mouth. So the way you actually catch a cold is by getting infected with a virus that causes colds. And that's a simple fact. But why this misconception? Why do people think that the cold weather can give you a cold? It's even called a cold, like literally. Fair warning, I'm no doctor, I'm no scientist. Everything I say here is based on my own experience and a little bit of research that I've done on this topic. So take everything I say with a little grain of salt and you can even do your own research, you know. There's a few reasons why people think that you can catch a cold from the cold weather, and this is what I think. First off, cold weather gives you very similar symptoms to an actual cold. Like when you expose yourself to the cold, you may get a runny nose, you may sneeze, you may get a dry throat. These are almost the exact same symptoms that you get when you catch a cold. But that doesn't mean that you actually have the disease that's called a cold. Second, winter is the time when people tend to get the most sick or most commonly catch colds. But there's a probable explanation for this. You see, when it's cold outside, people want to spend more time inside. So the more people get huddled up together in groups, spending time indoors, the higher the chance of diseases being transmitted. There's a reason the cold is a seasonal disease. We had a pandemic. It was the same with the coronavirus. If you remember, during the winter, the number of infected people was always the highest. However, there is some truth to this misconception, because sometimes if you expose yourself to cold weather for a prolonged period of time, and I'm talking like extremely cold weather, your immune system may drop down, your body temperature may drop down to the point that you are more susceptible to catching a disease, to getting infected. So in a way, the cold may contribute to you catching a cold, but it cannot give you a cold directly. So if you want to avoid getting sick, the cold is not the thing you need to worry about the most. You just need to worry about washing your hands, not touching your face with dirty hands, and staying away from sick people. That's it. Oh, looks like we have a surprise guest for us today. Anyway, hello?
Hello, it's me, your grandma.
Grandma?
Why is the window open? You want to get sick? You want to catch
Grandma,
a cold
please don't close the window. It's too hot in here. Grandma.
Today I make soup for
Yeah,
you.
yes, I ate.
Especially for you, soup.
I thank you, Grandma.
Soup.
Thank you. Love you. And then there's this last thing that's called a psychosomatic disease. It's actually a real thing that you can manifest physical symptoms on your body just by thinking about them, or by stressing about them, or focusing on them too much. That's actually scientifically proven that this is possible. A while ago, there was this experiment that was conducted, that there were a lot of children with some afflictions like skin irritation, like mental problems. So they brought these children to a hospital which had this big machine, and they told these kids, we're gonna put you in this machine, and the machine is gonna use its special rays to cure you. So they put the children in the machine, and the machine makes some noises, and they go out and they go to these treatments once a week or something, and after a while they actually get better. They get cured. The kid with the skin irritation, his skin gets better. The kid that has speech problems actually starts speaking better. And the catch is that the machine actually does nothing. It only makes noises, but the kids believe that it cures them. And because they really believe that they are doing something that will make them feel better, they are actually healing themselves with their brain. This is called psychosomatic medicine. So why I'm telling you this is because I believe that people believe that cold weather can make them sick so much that sometimes they actually make themselves sick. You can actually watch the experiment for yourself. It's part of a show called Mind Field. It deals with psychological experiments like this, and it's a very fun and educational watch. So let's get to the main thing that I want to talk about. I feel like in modern times that people have developed an irrational field from the cold. It's like people consider cold temperatures the enemy. And I'm not talking like extreme cold temperatures, like minus, below zero freezing temperature. I'm talking like regular cold, like when the temperature drops down to like 15 degrees or 10 degrees and people start shivering and they're like, oh shit, I need to get out of the cold, I'm gonna get sick. And so with winter coming, I think it's the perfect time for me to share how I have learned to accept the cold and be more comfortable in cold temperatures. So how do you adapt to the cold. First thing you can do is change your perception about cold. Change how you think about it. This is what I like to do. You're outside and it's getting a little bit chilly. So instead of panicking, first know that you're safe. You cannot get sick. The cold cannot kill you, as we've talked about earlier. Like, you're perfectly safe. You may get a little bit uncomfortable, but just focus on the feeling of cold. Like, what are you feeling? Bring your attention to the sensations on your skin. And as you slowly start to focus on this and analyze the whole feeling, you slowly realize that, oh, this is not bad. And you're right, it's not that bad, because it's just a feeling. It's just your body giving you information to your brain that the temperature is a bit lower now, and that's okay. So just say this to yourself. It's a bit colder now, and that's okay. Just embrace it, embrace the cold, accept it. Don't try to fight it, don't try to shiver. Just say, it's cold and I'm fine with it. It's just a feeling, it's not dangerous, I'm fine. Secondly, if you want to really adapt to the cold, you need to start going out more, going out in the cold weather. And when you go out, take a jacket with you, but hold it in your hand. Don't put it on right away. Just try to test yourself. See how much you can endure without putting on your jacket. When it gets a little bit chilly, like, wait for a few minutes before you put on your hoodie or whatever you have with you. Just try to adapt to the temperature first and see if you're okay with it. And if you can endure more, like, just stay with your short sleeves on. And when you get so chilly that to the point that you start becoming so uncomfortable that you cannot focus on anything else anymore other than how cold you are, then put your hoodie on. So this is like a training. You do this every day, and with every day you get a little bit better at it. So for example, on your first day, when it gets to about 18 degrees Celsius and you start feeling chilly and you have to put your hoodie on, then in a week or two, you see it's like 15 degrees Celsius and you're almost naked and you're like, oh, I'm fine, I'm not even cold. Then you have to put your hoodie on at 14 degrees or something. It's basically like adapting your brain to lower the threshold of where you are comfortable with the temperature. And third thing that would really help, are you ready for this? Is to take cold showers. Yep. You're probably shivering just by thinking about it, but cold showers actually do have benefits. They will not only help you adapt to the cold much easily, but they have a bunch of health benefits as well. Your blood circulation improves, your skin gets better, your hair gets better, even your mental health can improve. And you're probably thinking like, fuck that, I'm not getting in a cold shower, but just try it once. You only need like to do it for 1 week to get used to the feeling, and then it's gonna be like nothing. If you're really scared of doing it, like, start with warm water as you usually do, and then for the last 15 seconds turn the water all the way to cold, and for 15 seconds just stay under the cold water. Even just doing this you can reap the benefits. And the fourth thing, and this is probably the most important, not just for this topic, but for life in general, is to exercise. Like, I'm not even gonna talk about all the numerous health benefits you get from exercising and how much your life improves. But when you exercise, you increase your heart rate, which in turn improves blood pressure and blood circulation in your body, which in turn improves your metabolism, which helps regulate your body temperature. And this kind of makes you more resistant to cold temperatures. And you don't even have to turn into like a bodybuilder or a sports junkie and be like, yeah, I exercise every day for 60 minutes. Even just doing a 10-minute cardiovascular exercise every other day, or even 3 times a week, even that's enough. So if you start implementing these things in your life, or even just some of them, or even just one of them, you will see that you become much more accepting and resistant to outside changes and drops in the temperature. And this gives you kind of, in a way, more freedom. Like, every time you've thought, I'm not going outside, it's too cold, I'm gonna stay inside and it's nice and cozy and warm, it might change your perspective on this and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go out, it's not that cold, like, what the fuck? Let's go out. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you've been living your life wrongly by not doing these things or by staying away from the cold and that you like staying inside where it's warm and cozy. If that's what you like, then that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But if you're someone that's has like real trouble staying outside in the cold and can't stand it, and if you want to change it, then these are some of the things that you can do to improve that, to make changes happen, you know? Woo, look at the time. Shit, I'm boring myself talking so long. You guys asleep yet? I mean, the two of you, if you're still here. Well, I'd like to end this episode with an honorable mention. Maybe you've heard of this guy, maybe not, because he's kind of a famous figure. Some people know him. The name is Wim Hof. This guy takes cold exposure to the extreme level. Like he literally submerges himself into ice baths every day and can stay like that for hours on end. He can walk naked in the snow in winter and nothing happens to him. And this guy has learned to use exposure to extreme cold combined with breathing techniques in a way that he can control his immune system and prevent getting sick like ever. I shit you not. They have done trials and tests on him to prove this, and they have actually proven scientifically that he can control his immune system. And he has developed this thing called the Wim Hof method. You can Google it, you can search it. He actually does courses and teaches other people how to do the Wim Hof method. So give that guy a quick search, you might like it. I haven't actually dived deep into the Wim Hof method myself, but this guy served as an inspiration for me to not be afraid of the cold so much, because I used to be like shivering every time it gets a little bit chilly and put on my jacket, hide from the cold. But when I saw this guy and how he can endure extreme temperatures and feel nothing, I was like, if he can do that, I can at least get comfortable with a normal kind of cold. Well, that's enough for today. I hope you guys learned at least something. I hope I was useful. You know, I like being useful sometimes, at least. And that's where we will end things. Thank you for listening to my voice for 15 minutes or however long I've been speaking. I don't even know. Okay, I'll shut up now. Bye. Bye.